remembers my panel yesterday, it was one keyword, and that was energy. That's not going to change today, especially because we're at the latter half of the day. So either go to sleep, get out, or pay attention. But we got you for, what is it, 35, 40 minutes? All right, okay, let's go. See, that's that energy I need. Look, we're talking NFTs, gaming, music, real estate, digital lands. We're going to get it all in, but let's do some quick intros and a quick intro to the panel. My name is Kevin Soltani. My company, Jima Group, we've been in the alternative investment space for about 7 years. We were the first Southern California company, corporation, to do anything in crypto mining in California in 2011. Sold that in 2015, moved to Dubai, and where we have our consultancy advisory, where we help companies with growth, fundraising, and more specifically in the last 2-3 years, all gaming. I was the CEO of the second listed company on the London Stock Exchange for a gaming blockchain company, Semper Fortis, right after David Beckham beat us in Guild Esports. So thanks, David. But here we are on the panel today. I'm going to go right down the row, let you introduce yourselves, and then we'll get right into it.
Hi, it's Jacob. I'm this guy with a monkey head. So yeah, I'm a co-founder of Fanadize, but most importantly, Fancy Bears and a member of Bored Ape Yacht Club. We're like a Bored Ape Yacht Club of Europe.
Hi, everyone. Hello? Yeah, okay. Hi, everyone. This is James. I'm the co-founder and CEO at Revolve Games. We aim to build a gaming multiverse powered by blockchain technology, and we're all very excited to be here, and I'm also very excited to be speaking with all of you today.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sumit. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Chingari. We are a short video social media app from India. We recently migrated into Web3. Looking forward to speak with all of you today.
Hi, I'm Mattias. Really nice to be here. It's late in the afternoon, so let me start with a little question. I'm a true music lover. How many of you doesn't love music? Yay! Statistic proof point. I think 98% of the total population on the planet loves music. The other two, I don't know any one of them, and I hope to never know them. So that's why I started this company, Co-Write, which is a blockchain-based platform that's supposed to help artists globally basically unleash the fan power, because that's what it's all about. This is about the community game. Music is probably the best industry to try the Web3 on top to, because music has always been about community, from like the medieval to the record label era, now in entering this new game. So I'm happy to be here.
Hello, my name is Uğur İşbuyuran. I'm from Istanbul, Turkey. I am the CEO and founder of Platform, a Singapore-based blockchain and cryptocurrency-powered company. We are calling ourselves the first blockchain as a service platform provider. What we are doing is we are creating platforms that run on blockchain and cryptocurrency, which are ready to run, and any entrepreneur, company, institution, or an individual can start a platform with us on blockchain and crypto. We are trying to make it easy for everyone to enter into crypto world.
Amazing. Thank you so much, panelists. All right. Look, NFTs is probably the buzz 3 words or letters of 2021, and going into 2022, I don't think anything's going to change. I think it's going to become a little more sophisticated. Obviously, the ticket sizes are going to get a little bigger. However, if anybody's looked at the statistics of OpenSea in the last few weeks, we are down quite large, 80% on the volume, prices, right across the board. But that doesn't mean that they're going anywhere. It's not one of these, scam coins, meme coins, whatever the word I can't say on stage, coins. But the technology is an amazing thing. That third word I want us to focus on today, tokenomics, tokenization. We're going to get into that a little bit. But the main thing about NFTs is that it's bringing us into Web3 a lot quicker than a lot wanted to. Artists have overnight taken their ownership by hand. From artists literally from painting all the way to music, which we'll hear. We've seen some amazing case studies of those artists being able to just come back from the dead in some instances, take back the ownership of the record labels and ownership houses of the art houses, and do it all on their own. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to give it to Sumit, and then I'm going to ask a few others to jump in, because I know that we have an ownership problem which NFTs and Web3 is handling. The self is the most important thing here, the self, our ownership. What is this so exciting to you? What does this mean to you, this digital ownership? And whether it's an NFT or just the digital ownership of your data, your artistry, your everything. What does it look like?
I think the very idea that now as a creator, you can own your content on a video app like Chingari. Any content that you create, you can mint it into an NFT, and then that NFT is your work for your life. And every time it gets bought, sold, and traded, you earn a percentage of that. I think it's very powerful. So far in Web2, we have seen companies owning our work and monetizing it, and creators not getting nothing out of it. So I think Web3 and this NFT technology is just going to change that. It's giving your ownership and power back to creators, which in itself is a very powerful thing.
Right. Mattias, you were getting on with the music, and obviously probably the most, kind of unowned type of, artistry is music, because record labels, publishers always need to be there. Without them, artists can't survive. Very few independent artists ever make it out. When they get to the level of a Taylor Swift or a Kanye West, they literally take the ownership back. That's the first thing they do. Actually, Taylor Swift's example was terrible because Justin Bieber bought all her stuff. What does that mean to you? What does this ownership in the NFT and music industry mean to you?
I think you're onto something. So basically, the whole music industry has always been about the relation between the guys and girls who makes the music, the artist, and the fans that loves the music. That's I would say it's the definition of a decentralized system. It's basically two different people, one who produces, one who's listening. But then, to be able to monetize that in the back of the days, the label industry came up with this great idea of recording plastic pieces and selling them in record stores, which is a magic and great idea. But it also made them very important in the middle. And then the first revolution came basically where the artist could buy a laptop and start producing stuff back home again. And then some part of the industry was a bit decentralized. You didn't have to rent the music studio. Then came streaming and distribution, which has now changed the model from actually ownership, which was the first version of the music industry, to an access model where nobody owns anything as for now. And then entered the game came these big streaming platforms that sort of together with the record labels created a very big chunk of middlemen in the middle between these two players, artists and the fans that loves them. So what's happening now with the Web3 is that there is a lot of types of opportunities coming up, both for the artists to finance their projects so they not ever have to get into that space of signing away all their rights, but then these NFTs also gives the music industry a chance to get back to ownership, because music fans loves to buy stuff. If you go to a concert, you want to buy the t-shirt, even if it's looked terrible, but you just want to buy it because you're there. You want to buy the vinyl, you want to buy stuff, and now you want to buy the NFT, which has happened this last 6 months, which is crazy cool. So people are buying shit tons of NFTs out there right now because it's fun to buy stuff from music artists. And then finally, the community again. So if you create the future of the NFT will not be like one-offs. It needs to be stuff that tightens the community together, that also could lead to the independent artists actually could build their career purely based on the fans. Even if it's just 10 people in the beginning, that ends up in 100 and then 100,000 in the end, you will be able to do that on your own, which is really, really cool. And I think that's the reason for us entering this game, I would say, because I think that's where the music industry should be.
Mattias, my first company was a house music radio station in 2006 when nobody in America listened to house music, and I got sued by ASCAP and EMI because I was using unsigned music, which was underground music, which they had no legal barriers to sue me for, but they found a roundabout way because it was elevator music, that it was public, and that I had to pay my rights. Now, these were independent artists, right? These are an unsigned artist, and I was still being sued, and this is 2004. Right? So you can see how ownership, especially in music, can be a big thing. Right? Music rights holders own all the power, except for the musicians made the music. And they can't even say when and where and how it's played and at what monetizational value. Really quickly, Uğur, you're building platforms that host these, give homes to these artists, give homes to these NFTs. Give me a little bit about what you guys are doing, and maybe if, since the musical topic is there, I know you guys are going to touch that industry too, so
Yeah, so we're basically in the middle of it. I would say, was it me?
No, yeah, I was jumping over to
Sorry.
Uğur, but yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. First of all, we believe that every company, institution, or a similar organization can create an NFT platform. Let's say, at the moment we are in touch with a university, a sport club, a charity application, a charity, an individual artist, a newspaper, or a social application, or even a football club's technical director. I mean, all of them can start an NFT platform. NFT platforms are not just making money for us. I mean, a sport club can create an NFT application, they can monetize their value, they can support the amateur athletes. At the same time, professional athletes can make money, they can increase the fan loyalty. When it comes to universities, they can motivate students to create more creative art. When you come to newspaper, they can create different applications for their marketing, or they can monetize the daily news. Or let's say that we have an agreement with a household appliance production company. They have pedal boxes, or they have ovens, kitchen appliances. What do you think about this? I mean, what is it about the NFT? But it's very valuable for them because it will create a better brand for them. They will sell the NFTs, and when any customer buy the NFT, the real appliance will come to the house. And it will be a lifetime monument. And when we talk about a monument, we also offered a charity application for a country that you may imagine. Which one, and they will create photographs, video, anything else. They will upload it, they will mint it, and everybody will buy it and supply the country. They will give support to the country, and all these in the images, videos, will be a lifetime monument, and they will never die. So, our purpose in the NFT is to take every institution company into blockchain and crypto world over these NFTs. And they will monetize, they will create fan loyalty, customer loyalty. They will use it however they want. Every day, another approach is coming to us. Somebody is asking another thing from us. And we find a way to make it happen. And NFT is incredible. Everybody will use it.
You're spot on there when you're saying everybody's going to use it, because like it or not, it's coming, and it's coming quickly for all of these industries. I'm going to come this side of the stage, and we're going to switch gears a little bit toward community and gaming, which are synonymous with each other as the success for an NFT project or a project that wants to use NFTs. Those are two different things, by the way. A project, an NFT project, and a project that wants to install NFTs inside. I see a lot of in-game assets. They're probably the most popular versions of an NFT just because of volume trade. We've seen what Axie Infinity, some other games with high volume items in their marketplaces, also in the secondary markets, have extremely high volume as well. A little bit about gaming as it pertains to NFTs, a little bit about what you guys are doing. I know you don't like to call it the Metaverse, but you use a different terminology for it. Give us your high-level thoughts on NFTs and gaming industry and where it's at right now.
Yeah, sure. So I believe that the NFTs are a great fit to the gaming industry. The gaming industry is quite unique, especially within the creative industries, because we've seen a period where mostly the content was driven by major publishers, major game producers, and developers, but we had a phase where when Unreal Engine, well, firstly when Unity came out, and then shortly after Unreal Engine came out, we had this era of indie gaming and indie gaming studios developing games, and even today we see on the Epic Marketplace, we see creators building tools for usage for public domain for Unreal Engine, and they're already monetizing their content. I think NFTs is a great leader into this, or it's a great sort of continuation of this mindset in being able to truly own what you create, rather than just being on a file, just being a sort of an art file in some server that you don't exactly know where it might be. It might just be in an island in a locked room, for example. And so NFTs really bring that true ownership back to developers, artists, designers, especially in the game industry. And sort of how that really fits in is that we're slowly moving, or a lot of game developers, game designers are slowly believing that your time spent in a game shouldn't just leave as a memory or a memory once in the past, but rather it really should be sort of symbolized through different means, whether that be trophies, achievement awards, badges, etc. And so there are a lot of interesting things that we're being able to implement NFT technology for in gaming. And soon I believe that the sector is going to move into programmable NFTs. This is something that we're trying to achieve through Comia. Mattias would know a lot more about it as well, because we're working together through Comia as well. But we believe that soon we will be moving into a new generation of NFTs, which will be more programmable, and that really sort of opens the floodgates of what NFTs can achieve.
Will it ever? We don't have NFTs that age yet. We don't have NFTs that are procreating. That'll be fun. We don't have NFTs, with any other type of one-to-one meaning in our social, physical life. So that's the barrier I think you guys are trying to close. On the community side, you gotta believe that the single most important thing for a project right now, and this is cliche to say, is community. But what does that mean to you in an NFT project, and how do you tackle that? If you were starting one, if you were giving an advice to your clients to start one, or anything in between?
Okay, so let's start with an interesting fact. I don't know how many of you guys know that, but 2 days ago it was announced that finally Andreessen Horowitz, together with 30 plus other entities, invested in Bored Ape Yacht Club at a valuation of $4 billion. And the ticket size was like $450 million. So they basically invested not only in some cool IP. I mean, every member of Bored Ape Yacht Club definitely loved their ape, but they invested in a community. And this community is something that many companies already build on top of, like Adidas, who dropped their Access NFT in January, firstly to Bored Ape Yacht Club members. So those things are already happening. Every single big company in the world wants to enable something for this amazing community. And we are doing basically the same. I already mentioned that Fancy Bears, our project, was already called the Bored Ape Yacht Club of Europe by Forbes, because Bored Ape Yacht Club is more like an American phenomenon. But these things that are happening in States can happen in Europe or in Dubai as well. And, those opportunities that NFTs are bringing, actually, what you said is not particularly true, because you can make new NFTs out of NFTs, so they can breed, and you can definitely burn them.
That's true.
So if you use NFT, you can burn it, you can stake it. It's an amazing technology, but definitely there's a huge room of improvement for new chains using this NFT technology. Yeah, but still, community is something that's usually being mentioned so many times in every single crypto project, but in NFT you clearly see it, because mainstream people, they love their NFTs, they love their JPGs, and this is something I've never seen, that so many people are captivated with these images. When you buy tokens, you buy just some numbers, maybe a logo, but here you really start to build your identity on top of your NFT. But this is just not enough. This is only a first step. Every single NFT project that wants to grow needs to start building technology behind these PFPs. And this is also why we're doing a thing called NFT 2.0, where we will basically enable anyone to modify their existing NFTs. But yeah, I think this is the biggest chance for every single company. I don't think there might be that big an occasion as the Metaverse, as the NFTs. I think this is the biggest thing out there right now, and I don't think there will be anything bigger in the foreseeable future.
Never say never, but the man does, his picture was there, so I think he's gone all in on his community. because you're a ape owner yourself.
Oh, definitely. Me and Bartek as well, my
There you
co-founder,
go.
we're both Board Ape Yacht Club members.
I'd like to just add to that a little bit and sort of stress the importance of community. And I'd like to make an analogy to a more traditional industry. If you think about luxury watches, since when were they luxurious? Why is a Rolex more important than a G-Shock, for example? And that's because, of course, they spend millions of dollars in marketing dollars, but you could easily get a copy from China or elsewhere, and that should theoretically have as much prestige as a Rolex. I come from a traditional finance industry, and so I imagine a lot of our audience is also in that industry, and so you might be questioning, why is this JPEG so expensive? It's just a couple of pixels. It is really because of the community. It's the same reason as why Rolex is expensive. It's because the public has deemed that this is something worth the value, and therefore the community building around the NFTs is really what sort of you are leading into that true value of NFTs. It's not about the product itself. It's really about the community, the experience, and that rapport you have.
No, you're spot on. And quickly, Sumit, and right down the road, because the community is literally, we're going down the road. Again, without community and supporting what you're doing, your community is supporting everything you're doing. If they didn't like the way things were going, they would let you know, and you wouldn't be as popular as you are. You've been one of the fastest growing apps in India in its recent history, or in its history, and it's growing quite quickly in that video sharing space. But you guys have done something in the token space that you're giving back to the community. You're going to reward them for different things, and you're going to have an in-app ecosystem. Apologies. Talk about how community has changed the game for you.
Absolutely. I mean, the idea of giving back ownership to the community and like that increases retention and engagement in the app. So every time a Chingari user, he is in the app, he can earn Gari tokens, which is our tokens for participating in the Chingari ecosystem by creating videos or watching these videos. This basically gives them, and Gari tokens are basically DAO tokens, so it not only gives them money, but it is also giving them ownership. So imagine how owning Facebook for being an early user of Facebook. So that's the, advantage that the Chingari community gets over by using Chingari. So I think, with Web3 and NFTization of their videos, the community is getting really, really powerful. And that gives us as a social platform an edge over the other social media platforms out there.
We tend to forget, at least this is what we say in America, the customer is always right. Right? The customer is always right. Well, in this case, it's not so much the customer is always right, but take care of the customer and they'll give back. A lot of the things he's saying about the Bored Ape, they have voting powers. If they're going to do something, they're going to ask you guys, right? And it's
already doing it.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So now with Ape Coins, democratization of the ecosystem, as you can say, of the economy, it's going to be amazing. But in music, right, we saw during COVID something happen in NFT and music that no one expected, thanks to Clubhouse. Clubhouse, the app. We had two of the largest projects get launched from Blau, and I guess we could throw Don Diablo. It was a little different one, but these are hardcore, house music musicians. Kings of Leon did one. It was pretty successful. But I'll go back to Blau's example. $11.7 million for an album. This was an album that on any given Sunday would have just been bought for a couple $100,000 by a record label, and that record label would have chose what to do with it. They might have shelved it. They might have put it out. They might have just killed it. The reality is he took the ownership, he built it, and he was on Clubhouse 24/7 for about 4 weeks preparing everything, and he sold it. $11.7 million is the answer he got back. All of that is his. Other than the fees and 10 plus is his. You're not gonna see that. How important is community for growth of these indie artists or taking back the ownership artist?
Yeah, so basically, I've said it before, but community is at core in music. That's what you do when you get on stage, even if you have like 10 people or like in this room, like a couple of hundred, the ones that comes up on stage or backstage afterwards to tell you that you were good and want your autograph or whatever, selfie, that's the business. That's historically where you sold the CDs when they left the door. So what Blau did is amazing because he had this community already and he built it even further by introducing a new concept, which is in this case the NFT. So for the established artists, this is the time is now, I would say, because they can do these things. But the even cooler thing, I think, is for those couple of 100,000 artists out there which are struggling to get there. They're professional, they're talented, and they haven't really figured it out yet. If we as platforms can help these guys grow and start building their community from scratch and then increase it and use the community not only to finance, but also to promote and market the music along the way so it gets bigger, and then eventually make these kind of numbers. I think that's the platform approach you need to consider, because not all artists today can do this like Blood did it, but they can also, if they get help, they can get started. And I think that's the scale that will change the music industry entirely, when you get the large number of independent artists to actually grasp this idea and get help to get there.
So that was going to actually quickly to you on the follow-up question, because indie, right? Indie game developers, indie artists, they're the ones that are going to be the largest benefactor of the success of this three-letter word of NFTs, even the app users of Chingari, even the game users at, any game. You're owning a piece of your future. Is it that indie tip over that's going to take, just like how the adoption rate of crypto, we need the SMEs to jump in? Is it going to be that indie? Without them, what good is Justin Bieber and Drake getting into it? We get it. They're going to do it anyway.
Yeah, but these guys are great. But I think the question you need to answer is basically, what is it that is so intriguing with music? And I would say it's discovery. Because Justin Bieber went big because some discovered him, the community, on YouTube. And some other artists made it through other platforms. But if we could manage to capture the discovery community in a platform fashion, then you have all the people, compared with the crypto investors, what are they looking for? Yeah, they love risk, but they also want a great upside. So what if you could find the next Justin Bieber pretty early on with a very high risk, because that guy could go south, but he could also go big time. And then if you're on to something, own something early on. That's the thrilling thought here. So basically, if you had a community that loves investing in new stars coming up, not all of them will make it, but some of them will. And that, I think, that's the good correlation between the music idea and the crypto idea. And I think that we will see more about that the next couple of years.
We definitely will. Let's change gears a little bit. Uğur, what other industries? Now, we talked about gaming, we talked about music a lot. Obviously, art we didn't talk about, but it's been in the spotlight. What other industries do you see is kind of coming up next in your eyes, or right after maybe less entertainment, because all those three come with entertainment?
As I said, I believe that every industry will be able to do something on crypto and blockchain world. Let me start from a very quick history of platform. We started with crypto exchanges and margin trade platforms. Then while we are developing our platforms, we have jumped into NFT. We have seen that there is a great potential there. But when you think about exchanges, it's something else. It's trade world. But when you come to NFT, it becomes human. Everybody will be entering this world. Then we reach the companies, sport clubs, universities, any institution. Then the game started to change. I mean, we understood that we can get every institution, everybody into NFT. But at the beginning, we had a vision. I mean, we believe that we are working for a world that cryptocurrency payments will be enough for everything. Everything can be solved. Let's say, I have given an example. The guy will go into the website, he will buy an oven as an NFT. The real world oven will be delivered to his house. Now, so think about that. Every kind of institution, company, individual, everybody will go into the NFT. They will create their own platforms. They will upload their products, memories, anything else. Then we understood that we have to combine all of these together. And we have seen that there is a huge collaboration here. And let's say, in the next step, we will be jumping into Metaverse. Not now, in the next step, because we need finance, we need development, a huge development for that. Even that's why we have an ICO ongoing, and we already done a lot of things. We invested in the development offices, people, data center. We have our own data center system, and we are installing everything on premise, and our ICO is going on. But this ICO, in the next step, we realized that it's not just selling tokens. Yes, we sell tokens. We will be in production at the end of May. We will get finance, but we understood that we need the community, the people. So we need to get these people and combine them together in a single ecosystem. What is the community will go into NFTs, NFTs will go into Metaverse, then everything will combine together and it will be a total ecosystem working only on blockchain and cryptocurrency. That's all.
Right.
So crypto will be enough for everything.
Well said. Let's bring it back over here with, well, we're seeing it. If you want to go with your own Mr. Ape, it's still not up. Can someone get his ape up here, please? Loyalty, rewards, give back, voting, governance. These are the things that we're excited about in NFTs. If, again, that third word, tokens, tokenizations is ownership. What are you seeing as, the biggest potential, I guess, upside for the loyalty rewards? Is it the voting power that it excites you, or is it, no, the give back? That now I've supported this project, I've been a part of the community since day one, I've put your money, I've done what you want, and now look at the great things that are rewarding me. And there you are.
Yeah, so joining this one so far for many people in the world proved to be the best, and I mean it, the best investment in the world. I've seen a spreadsheet where everyone, where a guy typed down the things that Bored Ape Yacht Club members get from the Yuga Lab since the beginning. So you got the Kennel Club, then you got the Mutant, then you got the ApeCoin airdrop. You got parties, merchandise, that sort of stuff, which is more like culture, not necessarily incentive. But like just a couple of days ago, we received an airdrop of tokens. Right now, they're worth like $700K US. And this is like free money. You can change them into US dollars anytime. Obviously, we're holding. So that sort of incentives are just happening and will happen. This is why Yuga Labs, aka Bored Ape Yacht Club, is worth so much. And this is why we also think that Fancy Bears will be a $100 billion company in a couple of years, as many other NFT companies. That sort of things are possible because so many companies want to work with crypto, with NFT companies, because they are crypto culture, because people are engaging with these NFT companies and with their tokens more than with any other entities. This is because when I will give you an example. Our community is an amazing thing because these guys are even here. Bored Ape Yacht Club members are also here. We're talking with them, but they organize themselves in the internet. They have their meetings right now, even though we just started 3 months ago. So this is definitely something that's alive. And so the biggest incentive is just being a part of it, building your identity around it. And as soon as other companies start to implement this idea that we're bringing of dynamic NFTs, of NFTs that you can adjust to your personality, with items that you can, like this ape, this is something that looks like it because it was minted and created this way. But next month I'll be able to modify my ape and bring new features to this ape and then put it on my PFP as well. I'll be able to make it more like I said, matching to my identity. So these things will happen, they will evolve, and this is why the biggest players are jumping in, like straight away.
In gaming, in games, in these worlds that we're building, we're buying plots of land. Some of them are building on them, some of them are still dormant, and some of them are allowing access to the next level. What is that next level? It could be the next level of the game. It could be cross-chaining to another game. It could be a million different things we may not know right now. My favorite example of a game, and it just so happens it's not so much a game, but it's combined it with DeFi, is DeFi Kingdoms. And I love the fact that it's very basic, but it's gamified to the point where it's rewarding me for my loyalty, and it's obviously a staking mechanism. What excites you about the rewarding or the loyalty or even the governance of these tokens?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think beyond just sort of gaming as an industry, a lot of work has been done on gamifying different processes around the world. Something that is quite dear to me is the gamification of education. How do we make education as fun as playing a game? It's not a chore that children need to sort of go like, oh, I have to wake up at 8 a.m. today to go to school. How do we make going to school a game and have children sort of learn from that experience. I really think Web3 is everything that Web2 can do, especially a lot of that ESG stuff that we talk about in Web2. I do see sort of true use cases of ESG initiatives, but a lot of the time it is quite a facade of Web2 sort of entrepreneurs believing that they are making change for the world, and yet I do believe that Web3 is taking that step further. Web3 entrepreneurs are really looking at giving back to the community, and gamification of sort of processes that we see is I believe the future of gaming as a meta category, and so I'm really excited about that. Obviously, how that translates to loyalty is that you really shouldn't consider gain from a financial gain perspective. You should be gaining sort of wisdom, you should be gaining education. I do believe that education, especially for adult populations, as much as we hate to believe it, is lacking as compared to education for younger generations. And I do believe that we have a need to sort of provide that demand, to suffice that demand for education for older populations as well.
So I got everybody to speak about 2 or 3 times. So for the last few minutes, I'm going to spit fire right down the row, max 20 seconds, or just a yes or no, okay? Prediction. What is the percentage of companies that will be participating in, have adopted a tokenized model, or an infrastructure ecosystem for their companies' economies using NFTs? What percentage of companies?
But until when?
Oh, let's go. I said 2030 yesterday. That's a bit too much for NFTs. In 3 years, 2025.
I think it's going to be still like 3%. It's not that everyone's going to jump in because it's a little bit difficult. But still, this 3% are guys that are going to win.
3%.
And 97% will have FOMO, that they're not part of the 3%.
I would agree. It would be in that range, 3% to 5%. People are really resistant to change, and they hate trying new stuff. However much you tell them it's good for them, until someone like Mark Zuckerberg comes along and says this is the best thing in the world, only then would people start listening.
Here he actually did. They jumped in.
So if Amazon opens up their NFT market tomorrow, are you guys gonna?
Instagram will add this feature very soon, so everyone's working on it.
Let's go.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean,
Sumit?
I kind of agree. If it was a longer time frame, let's say 5 to 7 years, I'd probably say 90%. But by 2025, like large companies, although they are looking into Web3 and this NFTs and the new age tech, but like large companies are resistant to change. So probably like 5%.
Just to add one more point, I think large companies are really looking at sort of all the stuff that we're doing right now, and they're just waiting to pounce on the opportunity of seeing what worked and what didn't work. Right. And so that 3-year time frame is a little short for us, and I would have to agree with Sumit.
Okay.
Well, I think music has always been the front runner of change in every digital transformation, so I would bet that based on what I hear right now, in 2025, 50% of all artists that are professional has done an NFT. Based on the fact that I would say 90% of all artists I talk to right now wants to do one.
Right.
So we are on the right point. Based on our calculations, all the verticals that I told you, we are planning to reach more than 500 NFT platforms and more than 10 million of users in 3 years period, because every individual can start an NFT platform, every company, institution, anything. So if you ask me the percentage, it depends on the company, but every company that has more than 1,000 to 5,000 customers or in touch partnerships will reach NFT, will open an NFT platform and go to Metaverse after that.
Last question. Are we in a bubble, guys? Are we in a bubble?
Oh, we're definitely not in the bubble. It's so many people. The people who bought NFTs so far were only people from the crypto world, from the Twitter. I don't think bubble will happen anytime soon unless Instagram enables some sort of features and so on. We're just extremely rarely. Like OpenSea has only 800K accounts so far. You can't call it a bubble.
Yes, we're in a US dollar bubble.
Well, yes and no. There are a lot of projects which are just overhyped, but we see that in every crypto cycle. There are a couple of projects which will die out in next 2-3 years, and then the projects with real fundamentals will survive and be like really, really big. So yes and no.
I think we're in the bubble if you talk about shitty projects that doesn't deliver value, because these one won't work anymore. I think if you build community and get some really good values out there, it will prevail, because that's where we're heading.
But same.
All of
Good
the
one.
above. So we are and aren't in a bubble. We're headed towards some massive integrations, which will take a huge market shares away from traditional asset classes, literally in the music, art, entertainment, gaming, and real estate, which is my favorite one, which we didn't get to talk about. And so we appreciate you guys listening, but honestly, everybody should be learning about this technology. Everybody should be using this technology. Everybody shouldn't be tippy-toeing into it. Find a sector of the industry that you love. I just named 5 or 6, and there's a home for you in an NFT and in a community. And if you find that community, it just might end up turning out to be some free money for you in the long run, and some voting powers, which I think are more powerful than the money to come. So we appreciate your time. Thank you guys. Really good energy. Let's go.
Thank you, everyone.
Let's go.
Stay
Okay.
fancy.
Thank you.